Welcome back, guys, to the best stocks and crypto podcast on YouTube. It is now episode 7, and we have yet another special guest today for you guys. And that is Max London, also known as the average investor across YouTube and on TikTok as well. And in today's podcast, we are going through a few topics today. We're going to be talking about Max is going to begin this podcast telling us about his little crash course for all you new investors out there and how to properly get started investing in stocks and equities and beginning to build that wealth at an early time. And then we're going to switch course and talk about the actual current stock market and then reflect it to what's currently going on in our economy. And then also carrying that over to this Delta variant that has been being brought out recently. And then finally, we're going to be switching the conversation to crypto. And we're going to be talking about this crazy volatile market that has been going on this last few weeks. And maybe we'll also expose to you guys a few of these coins that we're holding in our portfolios ourselves. But before we dive into that, welcome, Max. How you doing today, man?
Dude, living the dream. No complaints whatsoever. I'm very excited to be on this. This is probably my first super legit podcast that I've jumped onto. So excited to be spinning it with the boys. John reached out to me last week and I was like, oh man, I'm pumped for this. And now we're in the new StreamYard setup. We're looking official. And before we even jump into this, make sure you guys that are watching this, like the video, blow them up. They're going to take off here. So like the video, comment, especially if you're premiering right now. That's all good. Now we can jump into it.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're very humbled to have you on. Literally, the conversation was just started from me hopping in one of your TikTok lives, and I was like, hey, man, you need to hop on a podcast. And then I was telling you about ours. You looked up our thumbnails on your live, and then you're like, yeah, dude, DM me. And here we are, episode 7, baby.
It's definitely a grind, and I mean I was saying this is just like millennial money, but you guys are we already talked about this previously, but they're like the backup, if not going to be better, because it's going to be more relatable to the people that are start building wealth now, that they can be growing over time. And millennial money, they're the goats, but it's they're already made it. They're already at the top of the game. So it would be nice for the people that are watching it to grow together with the podcast. So I think you guys definitely can relate to an audience right there.
100%.
I appreciate it. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I haven't even told the guys about this, but well, first of all, Millennial Money, great podcast, and we obviously are using that as some sort of roadmap and how we started this podcast. We just got the StreamYard technology, like you were saying. But one thing that's different between our podcast and Millennial Money is that they never bring on special guests. So we try to get one on every single week. And then another thing is I wanted to do this new thing this week with you, dude. I just want to break the ice a little bit and start the conversation. I've only told Alex about this, but I want to ask you a very important question before we start.
Lock me in.
Yeah. So picture yourself in this situation. You're in an open field. You're by yourself. You blink, and then there's just 100 6-year-old kids running at you full blast, and all you have in your hand is a baseball bat. How many kids do you think you can knock out with that baseball bat before you throw in the white flag? I just wanted to hear a very definitive answer.
I have 100 of them.
100 kids running at you full steam. They're juice off candy, Coca-Cola, whatever it is, and all you have is a bat. How many do you think you can take out before you fall over and are defeated?
So there's 6. They're probably, up to my hip, I think, in terms of height. So I feel like on one swing you can get 4 or 5 at a time. So, dude, if it's 100, I bet you could get a couple until are they coming from
every single possible angle, and you're in the center of this open field.
Dude, so you got to go samurai sword all the way around.
You can obviously run around too and dodge them, stick around.
That's tough, dude. If they're coming behind, if they're all on all angles, I'm thinking I'm getting 27.
27?
That's my number. Yeah, I really don't think, because once you're hitting some, you're going to be down low and they're going to be jumping on your back. And once you get dogpiled, it's going to be tough to hit more. So I'm going with 27.
The answer we're looking for was 0 because you don't hit little kids. But you
Hey, Josh, how many would you take out? How many squads would you
That was a good podcast. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys later.
I don't think I could have gotten any because I know how kids are. Kids are crazy, bro.
Dude, I don't think you could get one, a singular one, Alex.
I don't think I could get a single one, bro.
The heart.
You get
both
on the swing.
He'd run.
I don't know. Maybe not a bat, but maybe a sword, Link status. You guys have played Super Smash Brothers before, right?
Yeah.
You just got to do the spinny sword thing. That's the best I could do probably. But I wouldn't have the heart to do it.
Get a couple
I mean, yeah, if you had a wooden bat, all you have to do is hit the skulls and you're chilling. But Like, I don't want to like promote violence or anything on this podcast, but I just thought it was like a funny. I just thought it was a funny question to like ask, like as
hypothetical situation. We're not saying we want to do. It's just all hypothetical. You know, you're in a dream. You're in one of those fever dreams, and you're going in and out, and then this just happened to be one of those dreams.
That's exactly what it is. It kind of felt like a dream when I was imagining it.
But Max, man, so like not many people from our side of TikTok or the YouTube channel, they probably don't know much about you. So if you want to just talk about like what your story is and like, did you leave a job before you started doing content creation full time? Like, what's like your roadmap these last like couple of years?
That's a great question. I go by the average investor because really I do think of myself just as like an average guy that's just a finance nerd. So I'm nothing crazy, no superhero here, but 16 is when I first realized that I didn't want to work a 9-to-5 job. I was like, okay, I was watching like White Boy 7th Street growing up on YouTube gaming. And like, I was watching all these gamers and I was like, dude, if they can do that and buy a house with YouTube money, I could do that. So I had that dialed into my mind, like from the get. And even all throughout high school and college, I had the idea of like, I want to start my own business. So when I first turned 16, I wanted to start my own business. And that happened to go with like vintage clothing. I told you guys about this a little bit earlier, but I used to just rock like, normal vintage stuff. Like this is just a 90s Orvis like fishing shirt. But anyways, like I would rock all vintage stuff. And people would be like, dude, where do you get that from? Like, I want to buy that. Like, how much could I buy that off of you right now? I'm like, you want me to sell my shirt right now? I'll take off my shirt if you're going to pay. But I was like, there's a market for this. And I was like, if I could make money doing that, then I can build an audience up so I can't just sell to the people. And I was born in Denver, Colorado, but I was raised in Savannah, Georgia. So if anyone in Savannah was buying my stuff, I was like, okay, cool. If I could get this to another audience, then I could sell it to everyone in the world. And I'm like, then I'm going to make more money. And then I built up like 18,000 followers at the time. And I was like, all right, I'm going to Goodwill. I'm just going to buy a bunch of stuff. So I started buying like, I can't remember. I think it was like $90 worth of stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm going to sell all of this stuff right here. I put it all on the table. My mom's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm about to sell all of this. And she was like, you're about to sell all this Goodwill clothing to people. I was like, yeah. She's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. And then literally that day, sold everything that day. And I was like, holy, I can make money off of this. So started building it there. And I pushed that business, still going on. It's been 5 years. As of 7 days ago, it's been 5 years since I started that business. And literally been pushing that. And I was reinvesting a bunch of money into that. And then I was like, all right, if I'm investing all my eggs into that basket and that crashes and that's all I got, then I don't have any other backup. So that's when I was like, I need to diversify my assets. I got to look into some stuff. I was doing barely any sort of investing. And I actually read, hold on, I got it right here. 1 second.
He's got to show his book.
This book right here.
Oh my God, I love that book.
To Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. It is like, if you haven't read this yet and you want to get into, long-term investing and setting yourself up, like the last thing I wanted to do when I read this book, because I was in accounting class, I majored in business in college. And the last thing I wanted to do was read another textbook. I was like, dude, I am chilling on that. I read that. It's like no bullshit. Like it literally says no BS. Like he's not lying. He's just like talking to a normal friend. So I read that and I was like, dude, if I could put some of my money not into back into the business and I can diversify, then I can keep, putting more baskets in so I can get more streams of income, so I can build more wealth over time. So that's really what got me into investing. And right when I was reading that book, I was getting into Graham Stephan, Andre Zick, like I was getting into the goats of millennial money basically. And I was looking at that and I remember Graham would put out these videos of like how much money I made on YouTube. And I would be like, dude, this man is making millions off of YouTube. And like, he's a genius. He's really good in real estate. Like, obviously he should be making this amount of money. But I was like, dude, I bet I could, get into the niche of average people. Like if you are, in college, you are working a sales job, if you're working at Taco Bell, if you're in high school, if you're wherever, if you're Josh's kids, like I want to be able to relate to everyone, that wants to get into finance. So that's really where I found my niche. And I'm like just an average guy who really just started finding my way. And then when I graduated, I had a sales job. I'm kind of all over the place right here, but I had a sales job in Nashville doing financial technology sales, what like Caleb is kind of doing right now. Did that for 6 months, and then was the team lead of like the sales team, and then started making more money for my social media marketing because I learned how to build, social media accounts over time. And then I could basically go around to companies and be like, I could pump up your social media. Let me take you on as a client. And then that started taking off. So then I was juggling both my job and that. So I was doing social media marketing, trying to start this YouTube channel and my TikTok all at the same time. And I was like, I could do the grind for like 3 months. And then I was like, all right, I got to pick one or the other because one of these things are just going to start slipping. So then I just dove headfirst into social media marketing. The first month I quit my job, I made half my yearly salary in 1 month. And I was like, I'm good. Wow. I'll never look back. I will never look back from the 9-to-5 job. I can wake up, I can, go, I can leave the house, I can do whatever I want until, I have specific meetings. That's really how I dictate my days now. But I really wanted to be a big fan of being my own boss around my time because I'm cool with, making X amount of money, but if you can't be the manager of your own time, then you'll never get that back. So that's why I really wanted to push that. That was a really long-winded answer, John, of explain yourself, but I just want to catch everyone up to speed on where I'm at. But that's basically the grand scheme of things. So now I'm doing social media marketing. I have an agency that I basically am doing as my full-time income, as well as the average investor, teaching other people to build wealth, and just, making sure everyone's printing money somehow from some sort of investing.
Dude, that's awesome. And I don't know if you guys have seen his YouTube content, but it's like pretty dope. Like the average investor, perfect name, like you're saying, like trying to niche like basically anyone that's trying to get involved in finance. But I was watching one of your videos a few weeks ago before I even reached out to you. And you were like, I forget what the video was. I think you were just like running through like your revenue streams and like how you make money. But like as you were making the video, you're literally just like making dinner. Like you're making like you're making like grilled chicken and like asparagus or something. It was just like a cool, like it kept me like wanting to continue to watch the video. Because like not only did I just want to like know like how you're doing business and everything, but like I don't know, like you're doing a pretty good job making dinner. Like I thought it was like intriguing and like an interesting like watch.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I actually watched one of your videos too, which surprisingly it didn't have very many views. So if you guys are listening to this, you guys better freaking go to Max's channel, Average Investor, and go watch his pinned video. It is like awesome.
Thank you.
And
so
he talks about investing just $1 single into, I think you use Public. And I mean, not very many people even know that they can just start investing with $1. And I think that video is, I don't know, that needs some more love. I'm telling you what. I'm a really big fan, especially since I've been in social media, pumping up other people's stories. I'm really, really big on the fact that if there's value and authenticity and, some sort of, I don't know. You have to have an it factor as well. I think it's a combination of all those three things, but at some point something's got to hit. And I was telling this to Caleb, like he was putting out material. I'm like, dude, as long as you're putting out value out there, something's got to hit over time. It might not take a week like it did for like John or for me. Like it could take a year, but if you keep pushing good content, dude, something's going to catch on fire. So I appreciate the love, Alex, but I try to be, as relatable as possible. And I think a lot of people think I'm going to start investing when I get rich, but people don't understand like $1 today when you're 20 is if you're just going in the extremely safe route, that $1 today could be worth $21 in 20 years or, in 45 years or in what it depends on what you're investing in exactly. But I mean, that's pretty good. That $1 can make you a ton of money later on. So people think like once I get rich, once I get this promotion, once I do this, like then I can start investing. But in that video, I try to make it very apparent that you can literally start investing with $1. So I appreciate you watching that, Alex. Yeah, I love that. And like John was saying, you were very relatable in what you did. Like your cut scenes that you do with like daily routines is really cool. I really enjoyed watching it actually. It's short and concise to the point that, you wouldn't get bored watching a podcast or something like we do for hours on end.
Yeah, hopefully there's still people watching right now, but
there better be.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, there better be.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching this and you're like in this particular field of finance and you're also like a content creator, a big takeaway for what Max just said is just being consistent with content and then putting out quality content. And then eventually over time, that one video that may be your best video that isn't getting any views right now on YouTube can like actually pop off and you can see a huge spike in your engagement or whatever. But Max was telling me a few weeks ago, you told me about the rule of 32 with YouTube. If you want to talk about that a little bit, I'm pretty sure it's just like if you after the rule of 33.
Rule of 33.
Yeah, rule of 33. So like if you want to talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, so actually literally the first day that I started my YouTube channel, I was like browsing, the web and like trying to see if there's like tips that people put out there or there's tricks. Like I always know that there's no get rich quick on the YouTube scheme where it's like put one video up and then you can go viral. I mean, you definitely can. It's happened in the past, don't get me wrong, but typically you have to build up a resume. And what this guy was saying, I think he had 5 channels over 1 million subscribers, all of them on different niches. He was saying that once you have, your 1,000 subscribers, once you have 33 videos as well, YouTube really starts to see what niche you're in and what type of content you're putting out there. So then you can start seeing videos go viral after that. And I actually have a buddy, his name's Jack. He was doing the same thing. So once he hit, I think his took off around 35 videos, but once he put out 35 videos, one video from literally 9 months ago just went to the moon, just took off randomly. And he was like, what in the world is going on? And then I saw that video. It was like the rule of 33. So I'm on the hunt right now for the rule of 33 right now. I think I have like 25 videos, so I'm in the area of it, but it's still, the YouTube algorithm is a beast. It's not nearly as tameable as TikTok is. I mean, like John found out, very quickly on TikTok, you can blow up just by throwing one out there and it just goes to the moon. YouTube, you can do the same thing, but it's much harder. So that rule of 33 is like, don't freak out, keep putting up videos until you hit that 33 and then see, like, even if nothing's taken off, see which one is doing the best and then just dial in and just go 150% on that. And then just keep pushing that, and you'll keep dialing in the craft. Like, I knew the first time I made my first YouTube video, I was like, it's going to be the worst one on my channel. But if I don't get that one out there and set the floor, then I'm never going to build anything on top of it. So I was like, I got to get that first video out there. I got to look like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just got to do it. And then I can just keep building. So hopefully in a year, I can turn around and look at that first video and be like, God, what an idiot. But in the grand scheme of things, we start building from there. So that's how I keep my mindset going.
Yeah, dude. And that's awesome. Because of you, like Alex and I, we're going to be posting clips from every podcast episode like throughout the week, because on this YouTube channel, we have about like 170 subs right now, I think. And we're only posting one video a week. So it's going to take 33 weeks for us to get that 33rd video.
No, well, we can do it all tonight.
Yeah, so
now.
Yeah, exactly. But basically in every episode we've been getting like 3-4 videos, like 5 to 10 minute clips, like big takeaway topics from the episode, just in case someone doesn't want to watch the entire thing. And we have a playlist that's just called Stonk's podcast clips or best clips, whatever it's called. So we're going to be trying to do one every single day besides on Sundays when we premiere, dating back all the way back to the first episode. So we're going to just have 7 videos being posted a week instead of 1. So that's 4 weeks until we get to the 33 rule or whatever it's called. And then hopefully we can see that uptick in subscribers, viewers, watch time, and all that. But you inspired us because of that, because I had no idea what the rule of 33 was until you said it to me on your live.
And who knows how accurate that really is. I just saw that off that one guy and I was like, I love that. And I think it forces you to be consistent. And YouTube is a business. Like, it's literally, it makes money too. So the person that is putting out consistent videos, like, they know that they can make money off of you if you're uploading consistently. So I think it's absolutely genius. Like Joe Rogan does like his Joe Rogan clips. He does like a 2-hour podcast and then breaks it up into multiple pieces, and those go viral. So I think it's genius. You can make them even more clickbaity, being like, whatever it may be, but those 5-minute to 10-minute clips, I think that's genius.
Yeah, dude, they add up. They really do.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you're providing content to your audience. So, not a lot of people want to sit through an 1.5, 2-hour podcast. So, breaking those up into key points is pretty key. With clickbait, of course.
Absolutely. There has to be a form of clickbait, especially on TikTok. I mean, like, let's be real here. Like, your attention span on TikTok is literally this. Like, you're just
cruising all day down the abyss. So like, you're not going to stop there and like sit there for an hour and be watching this one person go into their life story. You want to see like, all right, this guy made 4,000% return on that. Hold on one second, I got to check that. And then you're going to go and look at their stuff. Like it has to be some form of clickbait in order to grab someone's attention span now, because it's not, the 1300s where you can just sit down and read, a 5,000 page book in the library. Now you're just flying through videos on TikTok. So I think that would be, your best bet on YouTube for doing the clips.
Max, I have a question for you on that for TikTok.
Well, sure.
What is your go-to clickbaity topic or like hook you use to open people that works incredibly well?
That's a great question. Probably with my social media marketing, because like it is like my biggest form of income. So like I said, like 2 videos ago, I uploaded it and it was like, there's only a few weeks of summer left. If you want to make $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and no, it's not a fucking course, here's a video where I literally teach you everything. And it's like that, it's clickbaity, but like that video that I uploaded on YouTube is 100% how I did everything, completely for free. Like if someone actually sits there for the 20 minutes, like I show all my cards, and like my clients could watch that video and do the exact same thing. I don't care, because it's actually like really good value, and I literally show everything on the table. But to say like, here's a 20-minute video, just like as a podcast, to watch like an hour-long podcast, that's way less, presentable than like, here's a 7-second thing where it's like, I can make $5,000 to $10,000. I mean, it took me 5 years to get to this place, but if people grind their ass off, then they might actually get there too. I have a guy in Puerto Rico. I'm not going to say his name in this. I'm sure you'd be cool with it, but I'll call him, I'll abbreviate it as G. He called me and he was like, he watched my video. He got me like on the very, beginning end when I was just starting to put out stuff. And he was like, dude, I'm going to try this. Like, he's like, I'm going to give it 100% shot. He emailed me. He's like, dude, I just got my first client. It's a pizza shop across the street. I love them. I was like, dude, that's freaking dope. Then he starts texting me. He's like, dude, I got 5 clients this month. I was like, holy mackerel. It's taken me 5 years to get, some legit clients. So people are better than me. Like I'm no guru. Like I hope someone watches that video and makes 10K a day. Take 10K a day and just blow past me. I'm with all of that. But people think like, okay, I can make 10K a month. Like, okay, cool. First of all, people think you're trying to sell them something. The video is completely free. I'm not even monetized on YouTube yet. I don't make $1 from it, but that's like that's actually how I do everything. Like laid out on the table. Anyone watching this video, if you guys want to go and watch it and learn, like that's literally how I'm making, more than $10,000 a month from social media marketing. So to answer your question, Caleb, probably social media marketing. I had one video in the past blow up for like literally no reason. So it wasn't like I wasn't even clickbaiting. It just like took off. But I try to dance from clickbait to like value video to clickbait and like, mix a little formula in it, because I don't want to just like only do clickbait. You know what I mean? I don't want to only push that.
It's hard though, because the clickbaits always blow up every time.
It's
like you get more views. It's like, I love posting value. I love posting like, oh, this is like how like I invest my Roth IRA. This is like 10 to 2 kind of like random indicator that I use all the time. But then it's like, oh, here's like 5 stocks that are gonna blow up, and that one always does 10 times better, and it sucks.
It sucks how that happens. It's like a blessing and a curse, because one that you sit down and like plan all day, you're like, all right, I'm gonna shoot this video. Like you have it all written down on your notes right here. You do that, it gets like 7 views, and you're like, are you serious? And then you do like one where you literally recorded it while you're asleep. Here's 60,000 views. Just take them. I'm like
5-second popular clip with like some weird sound in the background and just like flashing stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, that works.
That's just the curse of TikTok. But like what John was saying when I was talking to him, it's like those TikTok videos sometimes have a challenge, because like my TikTok is go from TikTok to YouTube. Like I want all my followers to go to YouTube, and I'm sure you guys want everyone to funnel to come to this. It's tough on the clickbait videos or the more shorter videos to translate and convert over into, YouTube. If you have one of those videos that you're like putting real value in, and those go like crazy, like, dude, people are gonna be like, all right, these are legit guys. I'm already sold. Now I'm gonna come to the YouTube channel. And those are the ones that I've seen like the most conversion that came over from that. So It's a sweet spot, and also you just have to pray to the TikTok algorithm gods to just be sent on the rocket ship, with Jeff.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a tag for that video that you're talking about your social media marketing. So all you guys have to do is click the top right corner, and that's his video. We'll make sure to edit that in the podcast. But tell us a little bit more about that, though. You said your first month when you were doing all of this, didn't you say that you made half of your annual salary in the first month?
I did.
Was that all social media marketing, or was that between all of your different passive income channels? Or
yes, it was not only from social media marketing. That was the largest one. So I had my high interest savings account was my smallest one. Then TikTok. I mean, I don't make any money off of the creator fund. It's like 1 month I made like $300, and I was like, holy crap. Like, you can actually make money from this. And then most of the months it's like, here's $30, which is cool. I mean, I'll take some money for groceries, but TikTok. Then I was renting out my camera. I was renting out this bad boy. And if you guys have a camera, you can rent them out on something called ShareGrid. It's basically like Airbnb, but for your cameras. I just happen to have, a nice camera in Nashville, and there's not a lot of people that have that camera. So I would just rent it out on that. Made me like $400. And then I had a lot of brand deals that month too. So I got like really lucky. I had a lot of brand deals and sponsorships come through. I think I had like 3 or 4, which is like very rare. So that lucked out. And then my investments went bonkers that month. So all unrealized gains. I didn't cash them, but that, and then my social media marketing, I onboarded like 7 clients in a month, and it just parabolic. But like, I think people think like, that most asked question for social media marketing is, how much do I charge my client? How much do I charge? And it's always so hard to answer that question, because it always comes down to, it depends. Like it really just depends. So if you're selling, to a client that's a restaurant that is selling $17 dishes where it's just pasta, and it's like, okay, they're making $17 every single person that comes in, and you bring in 500 people. Like, yeah, that's good money, and you're going to get paid for that. But if you're selling a $17 pasta, that's not going to nearly compare to like a $5,500 surgery that's coming in from one of my clinics. You know what I mean? So if I can get 50 people on that one to come through, they're going to pay me way more than 1,000 people or 100 people coming into the restaurant. So it always depends. I always say, like, for your first couple of people to do the social media marketing thing, go and just start putting your feelers out there. But obviously work with people that are rolling in the dough. Like, those are the people that are going to pay you the most amount of money. So network your way up to the people that are pulling in millions every single month, because they'll be able to pay you more. So, but my biggest form was definitely social media marketing.
I'm gonna speak to that a little bit because I'm in sales. I would advise also, if people are trying to get into the social media marketing thing and they're looking to like a starting price, see what your potential client's willing to pay you. They might say something that's 3, 4, 10x times what you were even thinking in your head. And then if they don't, and you were thinking a little bit higher, it's okay to tell them that. That's a skill you have to have going into stuff like that. I'm sure you have it, Max. You seem like you do. Is you got to have that negotiation skill.
Josh is giving straight facts here. Always let the other people say the number. Let them make the first move, because they might airball it a mile ahead and you go, yeah, that's fine. Like, we're on the same page there, where it's 5 times what you were actually thinking. Or they lowball you and you're like, look, it's not going to make sense for me. We're going to have to do at least X this. And then they're like, okay, cool. And if they don't, then you got to be able to walk away. Yes. But Josh is 100% right. You might think, since you haven't done any social media marketing in the past, that you should only charge them $100 a month. But they might think it's way more worth it for them. So they're like, we'll give you $10,000 a month. And you're literally peeing your pants when they're like, yeah, that will work. And you're like, okay,
that's fine.
So what do you do specifically for social media marketing? Is it ads, or what do you focus on?
I really do not like paying for ads. I really like organic growth. So this is exactly how my funnel game works. I use Pinterest and TikTok. Those are my 2 discovery at the top of the funnel to go to Instagram, Facebook, or website, or wherever they want to drive leads to, or it's going to depend per company, but mostly TikTok and Pinterest. Pinterest is an absolute cheat code right now. Dude, let me see if I can pull it up right here.
Dude, I made a Pinterest account like a few weeks ago, and Josh gave me so much shit for doing it, dude. He was like, what did you say?
I never thought in a million years Pinterest would be worth it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 12 videos up, okay? I have only 12 videos up if that will focus. God.
And those are just your TikToks, like previous TikToks that you've made?
Literally. God, I don't think it can focus. But it says, I'm not sure if that views is coming through, 153,000 monthly views. I haven't done anything. Literally nothing. And Pinterest right now, do not sleep on it. So if you come to a client and you're showing them, hey, we're going to pull in 1 million views a month, they're going to be like, okay, works. That's, X amount of money. So use Pinterest and TikTok to discover and grab an audience and then funnel them to wherever they want to go. So if they're trying to make more sales on their website, push them to a website. If they're trying to get more people through the door, push them to the Grubhub, their restaurant website, wherever you're funneling them into. Or if they're trying to get more leads, then you can funnel them into like a ClickFunnels type of thing where it's like, we'll give you a little bit of value, you give us your email, and then we'll go from there. But it's different for every single person, but Pinterest, do not freaking sleep on it, because like Pinterest has kind of fallen to the wayside. They came out with like a pin idea, I want to say 2 or 3 months ago. I could be completely wrong, but that thing has been making it go bonkers. I have 12 videos, 153,000 monthly views.
Well, it's like no hashtags, nothing like that. You just upload it.
Just upload it.
So it's good that you mentioned that, because I believe Pinterest just had their earnings and their stock dropped $13 after hours today. So it's a good time to pick it up in the morning.
You guys see Amazon after hours?
Yeah,
Amazon dropped like 7% after hours. Oh, was it news? I didn't see any news on it.
They missed revenues.
Yeah, they missed.
Oh, they had
How
earnings.
badly? Do you want to do a little quick analysis on that, Caleb? A little quick analysis on Amazon earnings. Did you like read the quarterly report or anything? I haven't even looked at it.
Were you there for the call?
I was doing work, and when you work in the FactSet station, whenever earnings reports for a big company, it pops up in like a big orange box, and it popped up, and I was like, "Oh, that's bad." And then I went back to my work.
Yeah, it was funny during the day. I saw an article on MSNBC that was saying that they were expected to miss earnings because more and more people actually went out to stores to buy stuff.
Yeah. I saw something literally just before this podcast where it's like Q1 is where everything peaked in terms of consumer discretionary spending. And then from here, it's gone down. I'm like, why Q1? Oh, because all the stimmy checks went out then. So now the money's going to be flowing back to Amazon for next quarter. But that's why we saw Lulu and like all these kind of like discretionary companies, and like Etsy's reporting next week. I'm telling you right now, Etsy's going to go stupid on their earnings report. But that kind of companies are just eating it up. Crocs, oh my God.
It's like I'm swinging calls.
Crocs went. You guys see Crocs? It was up like 10% from his earnings.
Don't tempt Josh with a good time. Say
I'll do it.
Go up and he's right on it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, dude. Alex is guilty of shopping at Lulu this quarter.
Dude, I love Lulu, bro. Dude, their stuff is good, man.
Do you wear Lulu, or your wife wears Lulu?
No. Well, yeah.
That took you way too long to answer.
A little bit of both, though. I wear Lululemon. I have like some nice slacks from there. I got some like gym shorts. They're really comfortable, dude.
You got the leggings?
I had to buy some leggings, though. I had to ask the worker there like some serious questions about it, because I bought my wife Paige a pair of Lulus. I can't remember why. I think I was in trouble or something, but
that's awesome.
Yeah,
you guys want to do not sleep on Nike trail running shorts. They are fire. 1 million pockets, dude. 1 million pockets. Utility, like you're just chilling, dude. They are highest quality. I mean, you got it. They're built for the wilderness. So I mean, don't sleep on them. Cheaper than the Lulu ones, and they're cool. I'm telling you. Just a quick tip there.
Speaking of don't sleeping on, do not know what L Brands is.
I'll be right back.
L Brands?
L Brands.
No.
Okay, so they own Victoria's Secret. They haven't reported earnings yet, but they're gonna. I guarantee you, the exact same thing that happened to Lulu is what's gonna happen with L Brands here. If you don't know, there is like 10. I can pull up right now, like 10 different hedge funds that are just accumulating L Brands. Like this is it's going to go up. It's going to be going parabolic, and they also have great financials behind the company as well.
Wow.
Consumer discretionary spending.
My head's very shiny.
Wait, so Max, so when did you like start your portfolio? Were you like a custodial account guy? Like, were you into stocks before you were even 18 and your parents set you up, or is this something that you took on yourself? Or
I started in 2018, like literally right when I read this book. I opened my Vanguard account and I was like, I'm sold. I was sold on it. Started pushing it then. I opened up a Roth on Vanguard. Started buying index funds, and I started just reading more into it. I am completely an old head, slow but steady, with a little bit of fun money, you know, trying on stuff. Just literally about to jump through his window right now. But that's here. The reason why for me is I was working on so many other things that I didn't have time to sit at my computer to analyze stocks. I jumped into Discords. Like when I first got into it, I was like, all right, I'm gonna make so much money off of options trading, swing trading. I had a buddy who was just printing 24/7. I was like, dude, teach me the ways. And he was like, no. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll get in my own Discord. So I did that. I think I was up on my first trade and I was like, I'm a legend. And then I lost everything. Lost it was maybe like $1,000. I lost everything and I was like, I will never touch that again. I do not like that. And it just didn't work out for me. So now I just do dollar cost averaging into, you know, my Roth and max out the Roth and then fill up my other brokerage accounts, go in the index fund route because I can focus on other things. I can't be like sitting around like praying that candlestick pushes. As much as it is,
so
percentage go up. I just can't do it.
My quick piece of advice for that is then if you have really that conviction in all your long-term portfolios, buy one or two options where you think those stocks are going to be in 2 years. And they're somewhat cheap money, depending on what stock you pick. And then in 2 years, you don't have to babysit it. You don't have to look at it. You can set a stop loss if you want, maybe 50%, and just let it sit. And then maybe in a year from now, 2 years, you'll open up your account and, oh my God, that option that I spent $500 on is worth $5,000 now. Right. So and Josh, your stocks went up.
I did a leaps option for Canopy Growth. And and I thought that was going to go bonkers. And I'm currently at a 98% loss. So that's not the best outcome.
You bought at the top, huh?
Literally. Well, not necessarily at the top. I just didn't think it was going to fall through, you know, the abyss. But I do like leap options. You know, the leaps options are cool. That's probably my only time I'll ever mess with any, you know, option trading anymore. But I'm not against that. I have one. It's just currently burning my money, but that's fine. It happens.
It happens. You know, and it's hard right now too, especially with the options trading, with everything. Well, not everything, but an extreme amount of things being at their all-time highs.
Right.
Very hard to pick the right ones that are going to keep, you know, ascending.
Right.
Especially with like look at Amazon today. We just talked about that, down on $260 or $258 after hours.
That hurts.
If you had some calls in that, which thank God I didn't. You'd be pretty sore right now. Even if they were leaps, even if they are leaps, you just probably lost thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah. That's probably the only way I'll touch any more options. Like my friends were just giving me so much shit for not touching anything. I was like, fine, I'll do a Tesla call right now. If it hits, I'm cool with it. It literally had 100% return. I'm like, and I am leaving the casino. Nice. And I was gone. It was like on Friday, and I was just like, dude, the theta decay or whatever is going to maul me. But it just happened to just be my best friend that day. So that's the last time I did it.
Speaking of Tesla, do you have? You don't have to, I guess, give a nod, or if you want to tell us, are you invested in Tesla in long term? Do you like Tesla?
Yes, and I will give you a nod. And that was probably my best. I'm a huge fan of Tesla. Like, absolutely love them. I bought before the split. Whatever was that last year? Last
November.
Yeah, I bought it before the split then, and I've just been holding it for the long term. So I personally like Tesla. I don't know, Josh, your feelings on it. I don't know if I just got baited into a massive.
No, that's legit. If I asked you about NIO, that'd be a different story. But I actually do like Tesla. They have a real product, right? And quarter over quarter, they sell 50% more than the last quarter. So I think they are going to be the #1 car manufacturer probably in the next 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
But yeah,
I definitely want to get the why. I have my eyes on the why. We'll see it on what my feelings are, in a year, but I want a why. The autopilot is just unbeatable.
I want a Cybertruck. And Alex, do you have a pre-order for a Cybertruck?
I have a pre-order for a Cybertruck, and my mom got a Model Y like a month or two ago. And it's like the coolest thing I've ever driven.
Dude, it's so
I love it so much. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So hopefully I can make enough money to get a Cybertruck and then write it off as a business.
Absolutely.
Didn't they say though that like the Cybertrucks might just like completely collapse and not even produce them? Like,
yeah, they were mentioning that for a little bit.
I don't think Elon Musk will let that happen. He's going to figure out a way to figure.
I hope so. I want a Cybertruck too.
It might not be the exact thing that he wants it to be. They might have to put like breakable glass in the friggin' thing. Maybe actually make it a shape of a vehicle. But
so we can't take it to Mars, Josh? Dude, what are you talking about? We want to take it to Mars, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I think the whole thing for Elon with the Cybertruck is that he wants this to be like the vehicle of Mars. So regardless of like consumer viability on like Earth, like he's going to bring that to a different planet.
Dude, he's thinking on how.
Well, they better have Tesla charging stations on Mars because they won't last very long.
And he's like setting a stone for like new vehicles that are coming out because this one's so different. I feel like a lot of other vehicle makers are gonna follow in that footsteps and make like some weird looking vehicles if this one comes out, of course.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to point out, Josh, I did not see a lime in that.
There is.
Oh, there is? Okay, never mind. I was gonna say.
You get demonetized because you showed there now.
Oh yeah, put that away.
All our money is gone.
Yeah, no, this video is not for kids technically. But,
speaking of freaking EVs right now, sorry for interrupting people, but speaking of EVs, did you guys see the news on Nikola today? And the owner, Trevor Milton? Dude, that dude faces, what was it? It's like 3 counts of fraud or something.
3 counts of fraud.
And I just got a tweet. I don't know if this is true or not, but I just got a tweet that said he posts $100 million of bail just now.
Yeah. And did you see what the fraud was? When they did the presentation to General Motors, their truck that they displayed had a secret plug-in behind the truck to make all the lights work and all that. It wasn't actual batteries in the actual vehicle.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Nikola, the Badger or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And they like pushed it down a hill to show it was working. That was
they used it on an incline.
Like a neutral.
Dude,
that's funny.
How do you do that?
Technology, I guess.
Fraud. That's how you do it. But how do you? I don't know. How do people go along with that though? Like, how did
the
all
biggest
those
thing
workers
people go along with that?
helping?
It's a publicly traded company, and I bet half the people at GM had hundreds of millions of dollars of shares. And as soon as they released that partnership, it went up by 300%. So even if it didn't work, everybody made money.
Yeah, but wouldn't that make everyone that worked with them a fraud too? Because like they
not a fraud.
they knew about it.
Trading.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth.
But yeah, if he starts squealing, there's going to be more people going down than just him. It's not like he was the one physically doing all this stuff. He's just he was presenting it. Other people knew about it. So
yeah.
But just to talk about Tesla again, my only concern about them long term is obviously we've seen the price of their stock just go up significantly in like the last 3 years or so. Yeah. Even with COVID, like it's gone up a lot more since. But we obviously know that Elon Musk, his end goal is to get into space exploration and then maybe civilize Mars. So Tesla, what happens if 4 or 5 years from now he decides to step down from Tesla? What's going to happen to the price of Tesla? If he has the opportunity to sell some of his shares to be put into investment towards space exploration, and then he's also got the Neuralink. He's got those, what are those tunnels called? It's the Boring Company or something like that. He's got so much going on, and I feel like Tesla isn't his priority in the next 10 years. And he's clear on space exploration. All these billionaires are getting into space exploration. Like we just saw Bezos go up, Virgin Galactic. I forget what that other guy's name was, but
Branson.
what happens to Tesla when he's gone?
It just keeps going. Board of directors takes over, and they just keep printing money. Someone buys them. He sells the company to Ford for freaking $40 billion, whatever it is. Amazon probably will buy it.
But like the thing is though, I feel like the reason why people are investing in Tesla is solely because of the creativity of Elon Musk. So when he steps down, I just feel like the innovation with Tesla will just be like at a plateau. And like, where's the growth going to be besides just people continuing to buy his cars and stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not going to be any big thing that causes it to go astronomically higher, like what we've been seeing with all these new.
Kind of get what you're saying on that, but look at the iPhone, right? Steve Jobs created the iPhone, died, and it still took off, and people were buying it. This is a little bit different story. You're saying Elon Musk just like steps aside and walks away from it. But I think it'll still go on. It'll still go on. People still buy it. They're going to still create things. I personally think if that situation happened, I could definitely see him selling it. I could see.
That's what I'm saying. Like the unlocking periods of his shares. Like we saw what he did to Bitcoin. We saw what he did to Dogecoin. Like, why do you think investors are going to feel like, oh yeah, like I'll just hold on to Tesla. Like Tesla's still going to be going to the moon every year. Like, what if like Elon just decides to dump the bag on everyone like 2 years down the road?
I mean, he's not allowed to legally.
I mean, like after he steps down, like he has his unlocking periods. He
can file for it. He files.
But he can't sell like 5% of his position. Like
that's true.
He has to do it like at a certain price at a certain date, and he can't really decide much about it. SEC really is kind of
correct.
Yeah, I agree with Josh. Like their products are already solid. It will just be a test of the system that he built. And I think obviously you won't have Elon as the face, like, just like Apple, lost that quote unquote creativity director and like that innovator, but it's just going to be test the system. So, I mean, I'm literally working on an Apple computer right now. So even though you don't have that person that might have taken it from the ground and was the greatest of all time, I still think it's just going to be a test of the system. And I still will be invested in Tesla even when he's gone. And hopefully I'll have a why by then as well.
Building off Josh and Max here. Oh, do you want to go, Alex? Or do you want me to go?
I was just going to say, I think it's cool that they're innovating in ways. They're making those solar panels on top of houses now. It's not really like it is released, but it's not like out there, if you know what I mean.
So Owens Corning, I believe, already tried doing that a decade ago. So I think they're just taking the same technology and bringing it back because it failed miserably like 10 years ago and they were really expensive. But I'm actually kind of excited for that just because Tesla has it. I think it'll work.
That was a Solar City acquisition, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was his brother's company he acquired. Yeah. So it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But.
And
that's Josh and Max, though, I just want to talk about that briefly. The product itself, I think whoever compared to Apple, perfect analogy because Teslas are equally as sticky as an Apple product. And if you look at it, Tesla has the car, it has the sexy S3, XY car models, right? And then the Cybertruck maybe. But beyond that, it also is like a battery company. It has that like secondary product and people were talking about this a while when Tesla was like very, very net negative in terms of profitability. They were like, oh, why don't they just convert to a battery company? Like they were super profitable doing that. So they always have something to fall back on just in case like the car brand was stickier to Elon Musk than it was to the consumer versus Apple where the product was a lot stickier in itself. But it seems to me that the fan bases of Tesla and the fan bases of Apple are similar in the sense, I guess you could see like something like Peloton too, or like those kind of companies where it's like, or Lululemon, where it's like very, very devoted fan base, like even fanboys like worshiping Elon Musk. Like regardless of where he goes, Elon Musk is still going to be Tesla and that's never going to change. And I don't see the company going anywhere for a while, regardless of what Musk does. And also on top of it, you think about it, he's a serial entrepreneur. He started off with PayPal, controversial, obviously, whatever. But he has Solar City, Boring Company, all these things under his belt that some of them are even technically owned by Tesla. So even if he does step down from the CEO, he's still going to be on the board. He's still going to have influence. I don't see him ever really like selling shares unless it's for that purpose of like exploration, like for better humanity per se.
Wow. That's a great point. And also don't sleep on the fact that they're a software company too. Like it's just like the iPhone too.
AI.
Dude.
You just basically can update the car every single time there's a new update out there. So you don't even necessarily have to keep buying the new model. So you can just buy the hardware or the actual car with the battery and then just continuously updating the software. So
really a big phone.
Literally a massive iPad that is just chilling there. And like they come from so many different angles that once you're hooked on them, it's like why convert? Like the autopilot like is just the coolest thing ever, especially if you're someone who's traveling all the time. And when a new thing comes out, you don't have to buy the new model, just update it. So I completely agree with you, Caleb.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say You guys brought up the software, you guys brought up the charging, you brought up the car itself, how it's a sticky company, like consumers are attached to Elon Musk and the products. But meet Kevin, he said that Tesla's like an octopus company, is like how he defined it. Like they just have so many different arms of like areas of where they're getting revenue every single month. And like they're not just self-reliant on like the vehicle itself. It's like software, the charging, the battery. Like there's so much going on. Like some of Square, like how they make money. Like there's like it's like his goal,
Bitcoin
at least, is just like every aspect of what like that company is trying to do, and like they make money off of it. Like there's just like so many different ways for them to make revenue. And it's just
it's
like,
literally like an accidental conglomerate. Like,
Yeah.
Literally, yeah,
actually
like-
designed this way, but it has become a conglomerate. It's crazy.
Well,
Literally.
if you look at Elon Musk and you see what some other geniuses and billionaires and entrepreneurs say about him, it does make a little bit of sense. It sounds a little jealous when other guys are like, "Oh, he's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing." But he's really an idiot savant. He like his brain is all over the place. I think that's how the octopus was created. Like, I don't think he actually sat down at his kitchen table and was like, you know what? I'm going to start a car company and a space exploration, and I'm going to do the battery thing. Like, he was just like, he was probably flipping through Twitter and online. He was like, oh, batteries. Yeah, I like that. Let's do this. Like, so that's probably how it got started. If I was a fly on the wall, that's probably what I would see.
Yeah. I'm huge on that octopus. Like if Tesla's like the Mac Daddy octopus, I'm like in the infancy stages. I am all over the place 24/7. Like I love
octopus.
I'm even smaller, just a wee little lad. I love like doing multiple different things, like especially now that like I feel most people, and this is something I want to touch on a little bit, like in terms of lifestyle design, most people are so focused on their job where it's like, my job from Monday to Friday is this is what I'm going to be doing from 9 to 5. I was doing from 8 to 5:30. Like that's your set time. So like your mind is focused on that 110%. Once I started becoming my own boss and, I was in a way financially free, even though I'm still working, I took a step back and was like, dude, I'm going to get bored if I'm just sitting, waking up all day and being like, what should I do today? So I just took on the octopus effect where it was like, I want to get so many different companies in so many weird places. Like, dude, I have a plastic surgery clinic where I'm literally posting butt transformations. Like that's my job somewhere. And then I have restaurants, or I have like a clothing company. Like I have all these multiple different, companies to keep things interesting. Like I think of it as kind of like the Joe Rogan effect, where it's like he wakes up every single day and he talks to someone who's cool at the top of their, their pinnacle of whatever their niche is, or has really interesting ideas. So combining that in my way where it's all these different types of things. So my mind has to solve all these different types of problems. Because when you're working a 9 to 5 problem or a 9 to 5 job, you're going down the checklist. You know what I mean? So you're so dialed in on that. If you take that out of there and like you could so done, I could so be done with work. I was done by work at 1:30 today. But like I want to learn something new because I don't want to sit here and just become, Wall-E, the fat guys on the machines on Wall-E just chilling, looking at it. I don't want to be that at all. I want to continuously learn, build businesses, and teach others. So I think you have to be kind of like that or you'll just get bored. And there's a guy actually that I'm going to be doing a collab with. His name's John. He's on TikTok too. I think it's Jonathan Farber. I might have just butchered his name, but he's financially free from Airbnbs too. So he was like, okay, cool. Like this is dope. I can quit my job. And then he quit his job and he was like playing. He's like, I'm going to play all the golf that I can. And then he played golf. And then he was like, shit, I'm bored now. And he's like, what do I do? And then it's like, you have to have like a sort of a plan or something like that, because so everyone's so focused on retirement. We're like, oh, I'm gonna be 65. I'm gonna have grandkids. I'm gonna, be chilling. I'm gonna be living off my Roth, in Boca or in, Bora Bora or whatever. But if you don't have something that you're continuously learning on, you're just gonna be bored. So being that octopus and like having that Joe Rogan effect every single day, working with people, good people, bad people, like the people that you don't want to work with again, like you got to keep it interesting. So that's something that that was my baby octopus analogy into, lifestyle design. And I don't even know if any of you guys, like I know Josh is working job. He's got a family. He's got responsibilities. Like I'm solo dolo, I have a girlfriend, but I don't have, any kids, knock on wood. And like, I want to be able to have my fun now and build up, my empire now when I don't have that many responsibilities. So like, that's when it's like perfect to take, that risk and dive into a passion, or what you guys are doing right here, building an empire where you can give value and, share these ideas of knowledge. Like, I think that's great, but having that octopus effect, I think makes life really interesting, especially if you're not, going the 9-to-5 route.
And I think with just touching on what you just said about the 9-to-5 and people just so focused on it too, you can still have a 9-to-5. And as I do it too, right? I have different avenues of I use investing as one of my avenues in this, and then, my 9-to-5. And it's not really, I don't look at my 9-to-5 as a job, right? Yes, it pays well. I make money, but I look at it as just making money. Like it's just a way to make money, and everything I do is a way to make money. And if you just look at it like that, you have to love money. It's going to sound terrible and demonizing and all that, but the reason why we're all doing this podcast, the reason why everybody's watching this podcast, because they love money, right? They want to buy things, they want to have their wealth go up. And if you look at your 9-to-5 job, whether it be McDonald's, sales, tech, whatever the case may be, selling vintage clothing, if you just look at it as a way of making more and more money, it'll get you by that 9-to-5. Even if you don't like that 9-to-5 and you're just doing it to get that paycheck, just look at it as a way of making money. You like that money, just keep doing it, and then grow those tentacles while you're doing it. And that's my advice to those young investors out there that want to quit their job and start something like you have. It's like, no, just keep grinding, just keep doing it, keep making that money, and just think about it as stacking those bills.
I just wanted to say a quick statement. The Average Investor would be a fire title for a book. Just so you know.
Dude,
it's true.
I actually thought about doing a book. Like,
copywriting it right now.
Josh has already told the idea. I'm not even, dude, I think it was 2 days ago at like 6:30. When you like wake up in like a dream, like, and you're like, you got to pee really badly and you're walking over the toilet and you're kind of like in a maze of like a mist. And like, I had a moment right then where it's like, you should write a book. And I was like, damn. That would be dope. So I kind of have like that in the background fueling. Again, my tentacles are all over the place. I'm always like doing a million things, a million miles per hour. But I definitely have that book on the background.
They currently do not have an Average Investor book, but they do have the Intelligent Investor. So you could do the other side of that.
Hold on, Josh.
There he goes.
Yep, Benjamin Graham. Yep,
there he is.
Oh, wow.
The Intelligent Investor.
He's got it.
Oh yeah, they do have that one, but it's not nearly going to be as cool and as fun as the Average Investor. So
good to know.
But I completely, what Josh was saying is 110%, and also like there's like this cultural pedestal of like, oh, you quit a 9-to-5 job, you beat the game, like nice, but like not all people want to do that. My girlfriend doesn't like that idea at all. People want guaranteed steps. Like they want to be able to climb a ladder and, stick in an industry. Like it's completely fine. Like if you like your 9-to-5 job and you're making money. Me, I literally, like, since I am going a million miles per hour, I would be doing stuff on my job and like, that's a really good idea. I'm going to take that from you. I'm like, bro, I should get reimbursed. I just built a system for you guys. And like, if I did that on my own, like, boom, that's 10 grand. Like that would have been cool to pocket. But that's just for me personally. But I completely agree with Josh. Like before I quit my job, I would wake up at like 6 a.m., work out, have my food already prepped for the day, go to work, come home, make a YouTube video, make a TikTok, look into investments until like 10 at night. And that was my day. And I was like, cool. Doing social media marketing on top of that. And then the money factor, I was like, dude, if I'm making, even at the time, I can't even, like the last month, I think I made like 6 grand or 7 grand. I was like, and I'm not even trying. Like it wasn't, not that I wasn't trying, but I didn't dedicate 100, and 50% into it. So I'm like, if I dive into this, like this could take off. So I completely agree with Josh though. If you want, like, don't quit your job if you're making $100, day trading. Like, dude, if I'm making $100, like if I go down on this month, like don't do that. I'm not recommending that at all, but I agree. Think of that 9-to-5 job as that cruise ship, and then you can start building that life raft on the side. And once that life raft starts looking pretty nice to jump to, and you're like, I kind of want to go to that island over there, then you can jump ship and go to the island. And the great thing is you can always go back. You can always go back to, a new job or a different job. And honestly, if you're jumping from job to job, you see more bigger, pay jumps than getting promoted. So that's my spiel on that. But I'm a huge, like, 9 to 5. I'm anti 9 to 5 for a couple of reasons. But again, if you like your job and you want to stay at it, keep making your money, keep making your bread still.
Yeah.
Max, question: how much money is enough to jump ship? How big do you need to make that life raft before you can make that leap?
That's a great question. It's going to completely depend. It's going to depend on people's debt. It's going to depend on, do you have an emergency fund built up? All those things will make that life raft, more, I guess, favorable. And then also, are you willing to make sacrifices? If you're someone that is going out to eat, are you going out with friends? Are you partying every single weekend? Are you, shopping at, higher end stuff? Are you getting
Lululemon?
Alex, buying Lulu every single week? You're throwing a bunch of expenses in there. Then you might have to make some sacrifices depending on how it's going. For me, it was making more money. So that's like a blessing. So I could look at that and go, like, this is a no-brainer. And I'm calling my parents. I'm like, dude, I'm quitting. Like, this is making more money. I got to do this. Like, I'm stupid if I don't. Right. I probably could have juggled it for a little bit longer, but then I wouldn't have, all these opportunities. So there's a trade-off. But Caleb, in terms of like what the number is, for me, like I had my emergency fund set up. I don't have any debt besides like my credit card that I'm paying off for like my business, but that's not even like, I'm using that as a tool. And also, once I started hitting the same amount of money, I was cool with that. If you're someone who wants to take more risks and you have a really good idea and you're someone that's just going to grind, then like I say, go for it, especially if you're young. But like for me, I'm 23 years old. Like Josh has a family. Like there's people out there that have student loan debts, that have a mortgage to pay on the house. Like they got people taking away your cheese from you every single month. You know what I mean? So that life raft has got to be really secure, especially if you're jumping in it with other people. So for me, it's better because I can be more selfish because it's myself, but Josh is going to have to make decisions for his family. So it's all going to depend. But what I will say, if you're someone that is like really, if in the back of your mind and you're still watching at this point and you're a legend, if you are, definitely comment down below if you're a legend and how many, 6-year-olds you would kill if 100 people are running at you. But if you are someone that does want to do that, definitely check out the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss.
Oh my God, you're speaking my language, dude. Those are my two favorite ones.
Oh, dude,
for me, Tim Ferriss was my 2 favorite people of all time. Are you kidding me?
Dude, Caleb, we can talk after this, dude. I'll build you up.
Yeah, we can talk after this.
We'll go to the moon, dude. But if you want, if you have an idea and start like what Josh was saying, if you're like really passionate about, like, I love finance. You might hate finance. You might love gardening. Like that might be your shit. Like, dude, go and garden on the side. Start documenting that process and you'll build an audience. And then you can start selling shirts. And then you can start doing this. And then you can start doing that. It's all going to just start with something that you're passionate about, though. Like I was cool working from 8:30 to 5:30 and then coming home and working on this because I actually like this shit. I mean, Josh, imagine if you were working a job that you hated and then you're like come home and you got to do something else that you hated even more. Like you're just going to quit, Yeah, like you're ready to just quit. But I was cool with it because I'm coming home and I'm doing something that I already would have been doing, except now I get to share it with other people. So it's just going to depend on every single person. But if you are watching right now and you're like, all right, I want to do that, definitely read the 9 to 5. I mean, the 4-Hour Workweek. It's literally like the Bible and like blueprint of quitting the 9 to 5 lifestyle. And that comes down to all lifestyle design. So I'm a huge, fan of that as well. So yeah.
I think you bring up a good point though, that there's many different avenues that all these people are different in their own special way. Like for me, I worked and I started a family earlier and my plans are completely opposite of yours, Max. So, I mean, and that's okay for everyone. If you're watching, you can still do, if you want to grind and you still want to get rid of the 9 to 5, you can still do what you love to do if you just have that mindset like you were saying. So I think that was a really good point that you made.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Max, it seems like you've read like a stupid amount of books. I saw your TikTok today. It was talking about like how you have to have money to work for you, and that was obviously probably a reference towards Robert Kiyosaki, I'm assuming.
100%.
100%. But so like, are you still reading now, or did you just read like a ton of books like before you got started with this like?
So, in terms of like
college and high school, I hated reading for fun. Like the last book that I read for fun was in like 6th grade, and it was like Hatchet. I'm not sure if you guys read the Hatchet series, but okay, just making sure. Say aye. Awesome. So I read that for fun. But as soon as you get in the schooling system, they're like, yo, read this accounting book, do these math problems. Like that's just not fun. Like you're doing that for homework, you're doing it for a grade. So then as soon as I think I was my freshman year of college, I read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That was my first book that I read for fun. After that, like I was hooked on it. I just crank books, and I have a goal of 30 books this year, and I think I'm at 17 or 18 now. But I'm constantly reading something for that reason that I was talking about earlier of like, you've got to be constantly learning. Like I'm a sponge. So the book that I'm reading right now is Brandon Turner's Real Estate.
You're kidding me. No, you're actually kidding me. I literally just finished that book. This is actually. Dude, I'm not even kidding. That book's sitting right over there.
Caleb and I are on the same page. This book's awesome for people that are, just getting into real estate. But yeah, I love reading books. I have like a stack of other books that I'm about to read, and then I just buy and order more. Like I'm cool with spending money on books because that's where I can actually teach people from. Because people ask me like, dude, how did you learn how to do this shit? Like I didn't come out the womb with this knowledge ingrained. I didn't even learn most of this stuff at school. It's mostly YouTube and reading. Like I literally take what people that are billionaires and millionaires and multimillionaires are saying, and I'm just translating it in a way that, my 18-year-old brother can understand. In fact, like their friends like make jokes. They're like, oh, dude, I just got my Roth set up. And I'm like, they're joking about it, but they're going to be lit in, 50 years when that thing is cranking dough. So like I can put it in a way that makes sense for the average person. And that's all from reading these books. And I know people don't want to read books. I got it. People have got a life. So I'll do the reading and I'll just translate it in a way. And just like you were saying, John, like that was like a Rich Dad Poor Dad, like statement, or like I quoted that from there. Like it's a, quick little snippet, but people don't have to read the book for that. Also, the Rich Dad Poor Dad audiobook is on YouTube, so don't buy it. You can just get it there. But yeah, you get it.
I like what you were saying, Max, about the old, you listen to these millionaires and billionaires and all that, and you take their advice. I think a huge piece of advice that we should give all these, average investors, these everyday investors, these new people to investing is never, ever, ever take advice from your broke ass friends and your broke ass family.
100%.
Because they shouldn't be telling you what to do or how to do it if they're broke ass. So yes, you should be finding mentors and guidance from people that are well above your pay scale, I guess, I should say. Get them to talk to you, not just listening to audiobooks, not just looking at YouTube, but also find them out in your communities and see if they'll sit down with you for 10, 15, 20 minutes and just talk to them about how they started and what they went through, kind of like what we do on our podcast with our guests, right? And take that information in. But yeah, go that route of the old millionaires and billionaires, not the broke asses.
Josh is literally making the example where it's like, you don't want to take fitness lessons and you don't want to go to a fitness coach who is 700 pounds overweight. Like they can tell you what to do. They can be like, oh, dude, you got to diet, you got to wait. But you're like, bro, like, come on now. But when it comes to money, like you can flex like a rollie and you're like, dude, this guy's rolling in it, But I think that's very key, especially if you can find someone who's 10 steps ahead of you, so that you can come to them, and don't come to them and be a mosquito and suck everything out. Like you don't want to go that route. You don't want to be a parasite on them. You got to come to them and go, what's the stuff that you don't like to do? I'll do it for free if you can teach me what you're doing. You come that route where it's like mutually beneficial. So you're showing up with value so they can give you value. You're not going to come to them and go, all right, I'm ready. Like, let's get this going. Hurry up. Like, dude, if they're already millionaires, they're going to look at you and be like, dude, get off, get kicked out the lobby, kid. You want to come to them and be like, I will help you do this. What do you hate doing? I'll help you do that. And if you come like that, then you're coming with value. So they'll be willing to, teach you and talk about stuff. Also, if it's something that they're passionate in, dude, like they love to talk about that stuff.
I'm sure, their spouse or whoever is there, like they're bored out of their mind on it already. They probably get it every single day at home. Like, oh my gosh, I found this new rental property, and they might be into fashion or whatever. And they're like, dude, I don't care. Like, I literally don't care. But if you're coming to them and you're like, dude, I'm so interested. Like, how can I start my own Airbnb property? And they're like, oh, dude, I remember when you were there. If you help me do this, I'll teach you everything I know. Boom. That knowledge is like, it's worth everything. Like that saying where it's like your net worth is your network. Like that is 100%. That's like, I want to have a social media marketing agency without shaking the people's hand and being like, hey, can I run your social media marketing? They didn't come to me and they're like, hey, we're looking to throw money at you. Like you got to go there and be like, I can do X, Y, or Z for you. And then they'll pull out their wallet. But I completely agree with you, Josh. Don't go to the 700-pound fitness instructor. Find someone who's credit already that you want to be like and be like, show me the way and I will clean up whatever you want,
Correct. You got to have that Yoda. Everybody's got to have the Yoda.
If you want to be a Jedi, you have to find that Yoda.
Correct.
100%.
So Max, who was your Yoda? Like, were you someone that hung around a lot of friends that all have like very much so like similarities in regards to like building wealth and stuff? Or did you have to like take a rain check from your friend group and then just dial in by yourself and learn everything online, start reading books? Like, was there anyone in particular, or was it just yourself that got you to where you are today?
I definitely did not do it by myself. I have multiple different Yodas. I have a group of Yodas. So I was extremely freaking blessed. I had a group of friends in high school that are like hungry. Like all of us came from different backgrounds. Like everyone was like ready to grind though. Like we had like a vision. We all did our separate stuff and like we were all going to grind together. Like we had fun. Like we were like, cool, but we'd rather build, an empire too. So like I was started off there. And then in college, my college friends, I had to have my college friend time. Like that's a kid that I party with. That's someone who I study with. I had to like, break it up. I couldn't like, I didn't have that jack of all trades in college. So that's when I really like had to take my time by myself and build up my stuff alone. I actually, I'm missing a mindset. Like, I don't even really know what it's called, but it's really like a mindset group. It's like a bunch of entrepreneurs that meet like right now for 2 hours, all free. And they're way above me. Like they are pulling in way more money than me, but I come like ready to teach people about social media marketing. So like I show up then. Those are like Yodas beyond Yodas. I shouldn't even have access to any of them, but I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And dude, I was just quite frankly a nice guy. Like I was just like, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you guys up to? And then they started telling me, and then I just happened to be in their meeting. And then I'm literally the stupidest person there. And that's exactly how it should be. Like you want to be the dumbest person in the room. So when you're talking to these people, you're like, I didn't think about that. But then if you can throw in one little piece of advice that they didn't know, then they're like, they just texted me, hey, are you coming tonight? I forgot to say that I was doing this. But like they are miles, they're Yoda's Yoda. Like they're way above me. Like the guy the head guy's making $1 million a month. Like it's nothing, all passive at this point too. And I'm like, bro, I'm not even in the same, solar system as this guy. So definitely surrounding your people with those mentors, and those people have definitely helped me, but you got to put in the work too. Just because, you can lead the horse to water, they're not going to drink it. So you got to be able to put in the work as well. And they can give you the 10-step program for free. But if you don't do, all 10, like you're going to fail. So I definitely had a lot of Yodas, but I was really blessed with my first initial friend group that, we're still extremely close. We're just now scattered like around everywhere now, but they're like by far built my foundation.
Now, were they all successful or did they fail miserably?
No, they're all. So my friend Jack is like videographer for like, anyone in LA that you would know, like every rapper, or like he works with a vlog squad. He works with like, Cameron Dallas. Like he works with like big name people, like the biggest of the biggest. He is like on the creative path. Another one of my friends plays for Mercer Soccer. Like everyone is. And then my other friend, like we're about to start another company that hopefully we're about to get Nelk on. Like we're
really.
Yeah.
We met them. I don't know if I told you that.
I know. I saw your stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know the boys of 98?
Yeah, dude. I've been talking to them actually.
Okay, so we're launching the product with them first. Here coming up soon, and it's on the low. It's on the DL. But it'll be on this video, but it'll be launched hopefully in September.
Is this a fitness company? The fitness app? Is that what it is? Or
I can't say anything.
Gotcha.
I can't say anything. It's not a fitness app. Though. I can't. But legally, I can't say anything about what it is.
Yeah, dude, Stefan's hilarious. He's like constantly yakking in all of those videos. It's so funny.
Man, dude,
I watched them every Friday.
2 weeks ago, but it's definitely going to be something big. So like all my friends, like we all work on different stuff together, but luckily like everyone's good alone too. You know, everyone's individually, you know, strong and stable as well. But I was that foundation, like at that time where it's like, what type of, you know, person are you going to be working with? Like, how's your mindset going to be sculpted? I was so blessed to be in that friend group, 110%.
I'm glad you said that, because just like it's like really important to have those mentors and those Yodas, you have to have a good foundation. You have to have a good group around you. You will never, I'm not saying never, but generally, especially in the entrepreneurship and business side of the world, you will not be successful if you surround yourself with leeches and just dregs of society. You got to know where to trim the fat. It sounds like you're pretty blessed, and you picked the great, because you pick your friends, right? You pick your group that you're going to be with.
Right.
You have to be very selective in life, especially the older you get, about who you surround yourself with, because those will also those will determine if you're going to be successful or how successful you're going to be.
Dude, 100%. And if you're still watching this right now and you're surrounded by people that are constantly negative or are constantly, put you in situations where you're like, damn, I wish I was doing something else. Like that might be time where you're like, guys, like I love going out with you. I love, hanging out with you then, but I got to go build some shit. And like, I have friends like here in Nashville that I'm like, those are my going out friends. These are my entrepreneurial friends. This is my mindset friends. Like you have to, it's hard to find that jack of all trades that's like cool with everything, that's like ready to grind on a Saturday, or is like, ready to go out and like is actually a human being. Like, like you have to find those people. But Josh is 100% right. Like you have to pick your friends well. It's much easier to build an empire with other people. 100%.
I 100% agree. And like you're saying, like be the dumbest person in the room. That's the most like
always
slept on thing ever, because that allows you to motivate yourself and then try not to become the dumbest person in the room, or just be like equally elevated with them. But yeah, yes. 100%, I agree with that.
And don't be the dumbest person in the room and be dumb about it. Like you have to be the dumbest person in the room and be eager to do it. Like you can't just be sitting there on your phone like I'm surrounded by Elon Musk and and you're sliding on TikTok watching The Average Investor. Don't do that. Like listen to them and like work with them. Like if you're surrounded by millionaires, you're bound to be a millionaire. Like that is a fact. Like they're already doing it. Like they're already steps above you. So like listen to them and take as much advice as possible, but you also got to do it. Like that's slept on too.
So speaking of millionaires, do you think you're positioned in a state right now with your crypto portfolio where in 10 or so years, you think you can become a millionaire just from your crypto? Like how leveraged are you in cryptocurrency? Because I know we wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I got into crypto in 2017, the day before Bonnaroo. I went to Bonnaroo and I was watching Crypto Nick. I don't know if you guys remember Crypto Nick. Oh, he was an OG. Dude, I hope someone's watching this. He got destroyed by that BitConnect stuff. Do you remember BitConnect? Maybe. Yeah, like the Ponzi scheme of everything. So he got destroyed in that. But he was like, all right, this thing called Bitcoin, it's going to blow up. And I had $400 to my name. I was like, dude, I'm with this. So I remember putting in all $400, bought my first, chunk of Bitcoin, held that until the boom of like 2018, turned that 400 or 500 into a couple grand. And I was like, holy mackerel. And I was like, dude, that was dope. And then it crashed. I was like, fudge. But I sold all of that then, but I've been buying here and there along the way. Hopefully in 10 years, John, I hope it's a couple million. If, Bitcoin, I have most of my stuff is in Ethereum and Cardano. So like, that's where most of my holdings. So Josh is freaking out. Josh is panicking.
Why Cardano? I gotta ask.
Yeah, why Cardano?
We're big anti-Cardano on this podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
I literally looked at it one day and just bought it because someone was like, it's like similar to Ethereum, but it's got more functionality behind it. And I just bought some then. And then I also have some Bitcoin. It's like, it goes Ethereum, Bitcoin, and then like 1% Cardano. So Josh, don't hurt me. I'm sorry. I didn't hurt your feelings. But
that's all right. Just take it all out of Cardano and put it into Cumrocket or Chainlink.
So I tried. I looked at the Cumrocket and I was like, dude, I gotta hit this as soon as like Elon tweeted that. And I tried to put all my money in that. And then I was like, dude, I just didn't make it in time.
That's
But
funny.
If you guys go to episode 2, you can click on it right there. I have a tag in the top right corner. We actually talked about Josh being a Come Rocket billionaire, and like real story, and he's still a billionaire on paper though, of course, in cummies, but that happened a few months ago.
Yeah.
The most unreal thing ever.
But Chainlink is where it's at, man. Chainlink, we've had a lot. Almost all of our guests have that. That's in their top 2, along with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink. And I actually just recently switched over all my Litecoin. John's happy about it because he told me to get out of that shit a while ago. But I switched.
I think anyone can agree on like Litecoin is just hot water, like hot garbage.
It wasn't bad when I bought it for $32 and it went to 400.
Yeah. I had Litecoin Bitcoin, and Ethereum in 2017. And I also was doing like mining. Like I didn't have my own rig, so I was doing cloud mining in like Greenland or Iceland or whatever it was. And I was like buying terahash over there. And it was like indefinite contracts is what it said. So it's like you buy this amount of power and you'll mine. And I was like getting like, X amount of money depending on like what it was every single week or whatever the Bitcoin price was. I'm like, dude, I could live off of this. And I was like, if it's indefinite, like I could plan this for the future. And then it's indefinite unless the Bitcoin price and the difficulty of mining Bitcoin like cross each other. And then it cuts your contract. Dude, if my mining stuff was happening right now, I mean, well, depending on the difficulty, I mean, I think I was mining like a couple Bitcoin a year. I mean, it would have been bonkers. It would have been absolutely bonkers. But I had Litecoin then, and I thought it was cool and dope then, but I don't hold any Litecoin right now. Most of it is in Ethereum. So hopefully in 10 years, dude, I'm hoping Ethereum is where Bitcoin is now, if not more. Like that would be dope in 10 years. Yeah. Hopefully it's more. But
speaking about Ethereum and the Tim Ferriss crossover from the 4-Hour Work Week, there's an absolutely amazing Tim Ferriss podcast where he has on Vitalik and Naval, like two of my
yes, dude, Naval might be my favorite.
God, the most
dude, Naval's the
individual ever,
dude,
like a modern philosopher. But he had both of them on, and look at Tim Ferriss, he's never quiet. He always like asks questions.
Right,
Naval the entire conversation. It was 2.5 hours long. Vitalik explained every intricacy and every idiosyncrasy of Ethereum, and I'm like, I was enlightened. It is just Ethereum is the future. I think all of us on here are convinced of that for sure. But like, you definitely go check out that podcast. Hopefully, it's below.
And
then we can have put it in the description below. We can have Caleb just text us the link, and it'll be in the description at the bottom of this video.
Yeah. And to add on to that one, because that one's really in depth on mostly like Ethereum. Just listen to the Joe Rogan, Naval Ravikant podcast, and also he has his own podcast. Dude, that like if there's one person that's like, how can I learn how to build wealth? That guy is the man.
10
Dude,
times out of 10.
Anytime I'm like drifting away from my strategy, I listen to him again, and I'm like, dude, he is like, he has literally a tweet storm called "How to Get Rich Without Being Lucky" or without getting lucky or something like that. And it's solid. I mean, it's 33 tweets or 34 tweets or something like that. Go and read all of those. Like, dude, it is legit. He started that angel investing site or whatever platform. That's like what he like really took off from. And I mean, he's a beast. That's actually not my neck. In like 5 books, I'm going to read his like almanac or whatever it's called. I'm going to read that because he is a freaking legend. He's a beast.
He really is. I mean, for me, I just like read every single one of his tweets because they're just every single word is impactful, honestly. Like, as stupid as that sounds, like I love his Twitter. I have notifications on for him on Twitter, which is rare because I have 2 people and him.
Yes. Dude, he is a freaking legend. Listen to Joe Rogan one with him. He makes everything like if there's like the average investor summed up by a multimillionaire, it's him. Like he breaks it down in a way that literally everyone understands. Nothing is past second grade literature, but like it makes 100% sense. Like when you read it, he's just a freaking legend.
He brings everything to layman's terms. It's actually incredible.
Yes. Like 100%. He's a beast. That's great. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that know him and like know of him, but like Caleb, we'll definitely link up after this, dude.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fangirls over here.
100%.
Yeah, I love that. We're just making friends on the podcast.
I try to be friends with everyone. Like that's really how this type of thing goes. I hate jumping on like interviews and it's like all right, we're going to go to A, B, then C. Sorry. Okay. Next. Like, I hate that type of shit. Like being a robot on these type of things, I'd much rather hang out with like a bunch of people and then just shoot ideas over. And then hopefully someone grabs some value out of it, you know, and learn something and is inspired and wants to go and do stuff, you know. That's how I like these type of things.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when we started this, I texted Caleb and I was like, yo, like, do you want to do a podcast? And he was like, yeah, sure, I'm down. And then I was like, all right, like, we're recording our first episode Sunday or like, whenever we did it. And now we're going, like, I think this thing can actually get pretty big, guys. Like,
I agree, dude. I think what Max is saying is like completely correct in the fact that it's not like we're like the pinnacle of people. We haven't like made it, but like we're showing our journey for financial freedom. And I think that connects a lot more to our audience. Like I'm 21. I literally started 9 to 5, like 6 weeks ago. I'm like just beginning my journey. And I hope that everyone that's watching it knows like, oh, I know a little bit, but I don't know everything. I don't know a lot even. I know like 5. I don't even know what I don't know about financials yet, to be fair. Right. And I can't wait to delineate every facet and little bit of knowledge I learned to everyone along the way.
Exactly. And I think people think like especially if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel or whatever it is, it doesn't even have to be in finance. If you want to go into, you know, music, the gardening example that I used earlier, there's a million other finance channels. There's a million other gardening, you know, magazines, YouTube. Like you could look at them and go, must be nice that they already have 1 million followers. I'll never get there. Bro, when I started my TikTok, I was surprised even one person followed me. Like, I was like, holy cow, like there's other finance nerds. And I was like, well, people like to make money. So I'm like, cool, I can help people build wealth. So like you start undocumenting your journey. You don't have to fake anything. You don't have to flex anything. You're just like, dude, I sucked at that. Like I sucked at options. Like I have no Josh blood in me whatsoever. I have zero of that. But that's what works for me. If someone else is, you know, making a ton of money off AMC calls, dude, go for it. Like whatever. I just try to make sure people, you know, are well-rounded and they're building wealth over the long term. And if it's easy and digestible, like cool. But I'm not flexing where I'm like, dude, I know everything. Buy my course. Like I don't care about any of that shit. I want people to learn along the way. And like I'm about to hopefully get into either a real estate like Airbnb business or a churro business. And I want to document both of those. So when I fuck up, people look at that and go like, I won't do that. Like that kid's an idiot there. I'm cool looking like, you know, the clown on YouTube, but I want to like show everyone the path so they can be like, okay, I saw A through Z. I'm going to start at J instead of sucking in the beginning like I did. So like that's where everyone I think can fall under. And also like all of you guys have your own personality. People will become attached to you guys of just like, that guy would be my friend. I just like him because I'd be friends with him. So it doesn't even have to go as deep as that. It's like, are you relatable? Can I learn from this person? And I'm just, you know, they could be cooking dinner, listening to the podcast. So I think you guys will absolutely blow up if you guys are staying consistent. And obviously, like John, what you were saying, posting those clips on there, that can be like a little bit more clickbaity and, you know, bait the people in to grab them into the audience. I think that's genius. I think like if you keep posting, it's an inevitable, you know, when we're going to blow up.
Yeah, dude, the goal is to post every single day on YouTube. But you mentioned that you want to get into Airbnb and Turo, and I just want to talk about that real quick because I always wanted to get into Airbnb, and my dad's just like, oh, like Airbnb, like it's oversaturated. There's so much that you have to do with like management, and you have to like be living in that market that you're like where you're getting these Airbnb properties. But like, what like have you started any of that yet, or like part of your journey? Or are you just going to be talking to that guy John? I think you said who's an Airbnb entrepreneur, but what do you know about Airbnb for the average investor that they should understand about it before they get into it? Like, do you have to buy your property? Is there an FHA loan that you can do for it? Or like, what's that roadmap?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'll tell like full blown disclaimer. Like I do not own any Airbnbs right now. I'm still in the discovery process of like going and touring properties, but I'm finding my Yoda. I have 2 Yodas in the Airbnb property right now. And one of them is John. Another one's Michael. They're both on YouTube. Like those are the people that like I look up to in this, but like they print like money, like it's crazy. But I'm definitely going to start with an Airbnb in my area in Nashville, which is already a heavy tourist place. Like Nashville with, you know, like bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. Like people are coming here, you know, they're excited to do an Airbnb. I'm not even in real estate personally. So like I have no like real estate whatsoever. I don't think I can do an FHA loan because I'm not going to be living in the property. I'll probably be getting something that is just closer to like Broadway and the main attractions. So it's going to be a little bit more pricey. The properties that I have been looking at in this market are freaking tough because I'll go in there and they're accepting offers for 3 days and they have 20 cash offers. And here I am going with a 20% down and they're like, dude, like scoot aside, little boy. Like they're like, good luck. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for me personally. Also, you have to, this is something that I didn't know when I jumped into, you have to look for short-term rental permitting too, because not all apartment buildings or, you know, areas in Nashville and other cities will actually have short-term rental permits. They won't give them to you because they're not zoned, you know, for that area. So like you have to think about that. You have to have an it factor for your building. Like, why would they rent yours over someone who's closer downtown or closer to bars or closer to nice restaurants? So I also have a long-term mindset, and this is why I want to do Airbnb over Turo. Like the cars are going to depreciate over time, and they'll probably be, you know, broken in 10 to 15 years. With a house, hopefully I could pass that on to my kids. You know what I mean? So like I could buy that. I might not even live in Nashville in X amount of years, but if I had like a cool condo or a cool house, like I could come and visit. Like that would be dope. Like obviously, like Nashville's cool. Like I would love to come here even if I'm not renting it out there. So having that there too, I think is a better long-term play. But honestly, John, what I'd love to do is like literally document the entire process. Here's why I'm looking in this area. Here's where I got burned here. Here's like why I want to do this. Also, I want to have it fully automated too. So like I want to have it where my calendar, and there's like I wish I had all these apps off the top of my head, but there's apps out there that you can sync your calendar with cleaners' calendars. So like your cleaners will know when to come in. You'll have a handyman that's, you know, on call. You have like a contractor that you can work with if you want to, you know, do certain things there. So like I want to have it fully automated. Like I want to have a key code thing where I can be in, you know, India and have this thing running. I don't want to be babysitting this thing. That's not fun at all. I want to be able to scale it and have everything automated and be able to travel the entire world having like residual income. But I also want to get into the real estate thing because I want to diversify my portfolio as well. I'm like 80% in index funds. No, I guess I'm a little bit more less. I'm like 70% index funds, 10% individual stocks, some in bonds, and then crypto. So like I'm all stock market and crypto, you know, heavy right now. I think real estate, especially being able to leverage your money. I'm not going to trade on margin personally, but to leverage your money with other people's money and then pay them back, especially with the interest rates now, like that's like a no-brainer. So that's why I really want to get into real estate, even if the market is really high right now, because I'm going to be holding it for 40 to pass it down to my kids' years, you know? So that's my mindset going into this.
I like that. It's funny you guys mentioned Airbnb. I'll let you know how it goes, John, because I'm going to be doing it by the end of this month. I'm going to start renting my house out and looking for another place. So
that's
really.
Oh, you're moving?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because like you mentioned, Max, with the location and what sets yours apart is we started looking online, and every place on the Cape and whatnot, other than like these multi-million-dollar mansions, we're really far away from the water, just crazy unaffordable. And we realized ours is right there at the beach. It's good size house for a nice size, you know, if you want to bring a few friends here and party or your family. Right. It's set up to bring kids because I have kids. So we set it up very nice for that. Right. So we can command a decent amount. So as soon as my wife started showing me that, I was instantly hooked. I was like, let's get out.
Yeah, it's worth the sacrifice, especially if your location is dialed in. Like you could make cash off of that while you're not doing anything. Once you have it all automated, you don't want it to be a fucking headache when you're already working a job and have kids. Like you don't want it to be taking care of another baby. You want to set that system up and be like, yo, book as fast as you can because this thing is about to sell out type of thing. Yeah. So just for people that are, you know, on if they're still watching right now, I would definitely check out a really cool videos by Rob Built. Rob Built's like a really cool Airbnb guy. He builds all of his things. They're super unique. Like they're really freaking dope. If you don't want to sit there and watch YouTube videos, then Michael Elefante, I'm pretty sure is his name on TikTok. He also is in Nashville, and so is Jonathan Farber. Hopefully I'm not butchering any of those people's names, but I'll give 3 people out there to go and, you know, dive into stuff who I want to be my Yodas in this journey.
And a big thing that I read up on, because I started doing a lot of research into it too, is like a lot of people they just want to rent out what they have now, right? They're not looking to go buy a place or a secondary place. And maybe sometimes those places that you're living at right now are not the nicest of places, but they're in a somewhat good area. It's crucial, like you said, you mentioned on cleaners, to spend good money on good cleaners. And you don't even have to buy nice fixtures and all that. A couple hundred or a few $100s spent on the cleaners will command a lot more money for that rental.
And
so the perceived value.
Right. And the guests pay for the cleaning fee. So it's like, why not charge your guests a little bit more money? Because that thing's going to be spotless. So even if you aren't the multi-million-dollar house on, right overlooking the water, if that thing's spotless and it's in the right area, people are looking to save money when they travel too. So like, it doesn't have to be Taylor Swift's house, overlooking, the water. It can be a nice house that's, set up for kids. Like it'll be people like your family that are looking to travel to the Cape, So I think you'll find your own niche there, and paying your cleaners well is going to make the thing spotless. So people are going to want to come and check it out.
Yep.
Dude, I can't wait till I get into real estate. I've just been like, because of these crypto prices right now, with like Bitcoin like was in the low 30s, tapped into the 20s, and like all these alts just down so much, I've just been shoving my money into altcoins right now, and like your Ethereum too, and Bitcoin. But like I just need to start saving money so like I can get into Airbnb. And like obviously now like the real estate market's probably as competitive as it's like ever been, because of like the interest rates being very low, and with inflation, inflated assets is what you want to invest in. So like now, like I didn't realize until like a couple months ago that you needed to put down like 25-30% or even 20% like on houses to be able to get them. Or like,
you don't have
even
to.
more, like you were saying, like you said that you came in with 20% down payment, but you had like a peripheral of people that are just doing all cash like offers. Like, that's insane.
It's so hard to compete, even if you waive inspection and like you do everything where the terms is perfect.
Don't ever waive inspection.
Don't ever
waive inspection.
Don't worry, I'm not that stupid. But if you wanted to even compete, it's like, we'll waive inspection, we'll do everything. Please just take my 20% down offer. But like people are coming in with cash offers, $50,000 over asking price. I'm like, bro, that's how much I was willing to put down, and you're gonna put that as icing on the top. Like, holy cow!
It's getting crazy right now. My buddy just said he's not refinancing. He's pulling out some equity on his house to do a couple things to fix it up, and some things he wanted to do. And you have Zestimates on Zillow, you have Redfin and Realtor, right? And you kind of a lot of people gauge the house price on like what that says. Well, he was gauging it on that. So when he called his bank, they sent an appraiser. It actually appraised for $50,000 over the highest estimate price. And he was like, what is going on? Like, how is that even possible? So stuff is getting nutty right now. It's crazy.
You need to find a hard money lender. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And you need it says in the book actually about the Brandon Turner book. In the end, it talks about hard money and everything. But the whole thing is you want a hard money loan. Obviously, it's going to have a higher interest rate, but then you pay the hard money lender back with a conventional loan when you have the money, and then you kind of refinance it and like get into it for
there's loopholes about it. But if you come to the seller and you're like, it's my cash in hand, take it now. Like, dude, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. And this is like, I'm gonna generalize here and just kind of assume, but also if anybody's listening to this and you have a good solid group of friends you trust, like we have 5 people on this podcast right now, not saying that I trust you all, but I am going to say and generalize that if we pooled our money right now, I bet we would have cash in whatever area we picked to buy a house in cash. So you pick a couple people that you don't have to go out and find people. You'd be surprised at who you know that will actually lend you money and give you money to invest.
100%. Josh, I literally did this 3 days ago and was like, holy shit, I know people that would buy this and that are like looking to expense their money so they're not taxed as hard. Like that money's already going to be taxed. Like they're already going to lose it. So they're like, bro, like let's put it in a business where you can lend it out for a loan or you can buy it full. And then with the tax benefits on real estate is bonkers. So like that's where people are in need with the cash on hand to, put it somewhere where they're not going to get butchered on taxes. Yep. So Josh is 100% right. I was ignorant to that too. I was looking the commercial and, conventional loan ways. And even I was looking at some hard money people.
Wells Fargo loans.
Yes. Oh, dude, good luck.
Crypto weatherman.
Like,
He's not watching.
I've called
He's
him
not-
out. I hate
He's
this
not
guy.
watching this. I just got one more question, and then we should probably wrap up because I know Alex has to do stuff with his mother or his father-in-law's birthdays today.
Sorry, Alex.
We've been going for a while. Jeez, it's an
Yeah,
hour
okay.
40 minutes.
That's
Yeah,
But,
this is our longest podcast. But
Longest.
that's
I
okay.
mean, it's another great
You're the
podcast.
best. It just keeps
But,
getting better, man.
But
Love
Steve will do it. He just bought a penthouse in Miami, $3 million. He paid the entire thing in Bitcoin.
yes.
No way.
So like,
Was it 3
We-
Bitcoin?
That, John. He also
That's what he
just-
said. At least I don't know how accurate that is,
I
but
saw
that's
that.
what he said.
so he, as you guys, if you guys know, Steve will do it. Everything that he ever purchases on this planet is with Bitcoin or with some sort of crypto. But
Right.
5 to 10 years from now, like, do you think having Ethereum or Bitcoin is just going to give you a huge competitive advantage in the real estate market? Because
think
like cash is going away. Like cash will not be a thing in 5 or not 5 years, but like maybe by like the end of this decade. And like we're going into this like internet money stage, this digital transformation. We're witnessing it. Like the government's coming out with a stable coin. Like we see Europe doing it, we see Russia doing it, we see China doing it. Like cash is going away. So whether it's Ethereum or Bitcoin, Quant, like whatever it is, like do you think having crypto and like a ton of it is going to give you that advantage in the real estate market to land properties?
I think even out of the real estate market, your buying power is just going to be way, way higher than others. So right now, the mindset is if I invest with my US dollar right now, if I invest in a Bitcoin, how much US dollars can I make and then sell it and put it back in US dollars? People's mindset is that now. Imagine when it's shit, I need to put all my money in Bitcoin because people aren't even taking the dollar. So now it's not like, how can I put my money into Bitcoin so I can make more US dollars? It's like, yo, the US dollar might be so inflated or it might not be as, as high buying power as it is now that when I put it in Bitcoin, like that's the only way I'm going to be able to buy shit. So like, I think Bitcoin, I don't know if Bitcoin will be it. Maybe it'll be Ethereum. Maybe it'll be a stable coin. Maybe I don't know what the future is to bring, but the mindset is going to shift, I think, in the future where it's like, I need to put my money in this so I can actually buy stuff. And it's not, how can I buy 5 Bitcoin so I can cash out and have $300,000 USD? It's how can I have 5 Bitcoin so I can live? You know what I mean? How can I have it in Bitcoin so I can buy a house for 1.5 Bitcoin? It's not going to be put my money in, hope that it goes up, and then, take it out so I can actually buy stuff. So I think we're going to see that transition over time, but that's the mindset now is dump in there as investment so I can take it out. But what happens when that's the way that you actually go buy your groceries and you're going to Publix and you're like, boom, I need to actually buy this with Bitcoin. You're not going in there thinking like, thank God I cashed on my Bitcoin so I could buy this with USD. It's like, thank God I have Bitcoin to actually buy stuff. And again, I don't think Bitcoin right now, I'm sure you guys saw like the B word or whatever it was with, with Elon and everyone. So it's like, Bitcoin might not be the fully adoptable universal coin, but I think Ethereum definitely has ways. Are they coming out with the Lightning, addition to Bitcoin? Like there's definitely going to be alterations so it can be, used worldwide and even nationally. I think we're just going to have to wait to see what that looks like. But I also think the coin has to become more stable because if it fluctuates how it is now and it's like one day it's up 20% and the next day it's down 40%, it's going to be tough to operate on that type of coin. It's going to be like the dollar doesn't fluctuate that hard, thank God. It might, if we keep printing.
Probably is, and we just don't know about it.
Yeah,
exactly. But I think once everyone's bought into it, like we're going to shoot up obviously when everyone adopts. But then I think it'll start to level out where it just fluctuates over time. Also, you can't print more of it, which I think is a phenomenal addition to have for any system. It scares a lot of people, but I think that would be great. And John, for your point, it's like you'll have that competitive advantage if you bought into Bitcoin now. And it's like, hey, we only take Bitcoin. Like there's no USD, there's no euro. Like we only take Bitcoin or whatever the cryptocurrency is. You'll definitely have a leg up, even if you have to convert. If you have to change Bitcoin to Ethereum or whatever it is, you'll already have that leg up in that crypto space. But I definitely think that we're going to be shifting online just because it's going to be way more efficient,
Yeah, and like that
Speaking
adoption
of-
period for crypto will happen when we see regulation, and we know that we're going to get regulation probably in the next year or 2 years. But I just can't wait till like few years down the road when like my buddies are texting me and like they're just like working their 9 to 5s or whatever, and they're just receiving like Ethereum or Bitcoin like as their payment like every 2 weeks or whatever it is. Like I just can't wait for that because I've been trying to get so many of my friends to just be invested into the space, but like all of them are just scared, and they're like, why would I put like 5% of my like money that I have in my savings account like into like crypto when it's like crashing every single day? Like I don't want to buy Bitcoin, like it's still going down. It's just like, dude, like we see this every cycle. Like I don't know.
I remember in 2017, people were like, it's too high. It's too high. Like $2,000. It's going to break $2,000. It's way too high. Like, bro, like those people that I was selling it to that were saying it was too high, like now they're crying, you know, looking at the price right now. So like, I think it obviously as more people start to adopt it and as more people buy into the market, it's only going to keep going up. But there has to be the shift instead of it going from an investment to this is actually my form of currency. And whenever that comes with regulation, like there has to be some sort of, you know, laws and regulations put in place. I think I'm not 100% sure what it would look like because I don't want it to get constricted. But I think there has to be some railroads and some guidelines put in place in order for it to, you know, be adopted. So I completely agree though, John.
100%. But dude, we got to wrap this up just because it's a little late now. But like this was a great episode. Like I'm actually I'm motivated after this pod because like now I kind of want to like what was that book about real estate that you were flexing a little bit and I think
Brandon Turner.
Yeah, Brandon Turner. They have a podcast as well. It's called the Bigger Pockets Podcast too. Definitely.
I listened to that.
Yes, Brandon Turner's in it. He's a freaking legend, and this was like made a couple of years ago, but he had like 500 rental units then. So he's definitely a master of the craft. So definitely check that out. And then also I'll tell you all the people that I want to be my Yoda for the Airbnb.
Yeah, dude. I'll definitely we can make a group chat or we can just keep talking that. But I'm definitely gonna use you as a resource moving forward. You're a very motivated person, and I'm sure all of us are humbled to have you on. But we're gonna have the Average Investor's YouTube channel in the bio description for you guys to check out if you vibe with this podcast and you really see what he has value in. And he said that he's gonna be getting into Airbnb, he's gonna be getting into tarot, he's continuing all his other content on YouTube about just like becoming financially literate, starting young, building you that base that you need to be able to get there. But also we have a Patreon that's coming out for this podcast, and hopefully by the end of this week we will have that up and running. So we'll also have that in the description for you guys as well. But Max, dude, like really appreciate having you on. Hopefully you can come on again. And
absolutely,
I kind of want to have you on in a few months once you got your Airbnb business going, and we can talk about that a little bit. But
you say the word, I'm on.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Max, for joining us, dude. It's been really enlightening to hear your viewpoints and everything. I kind of want to get an Airbnb now too. So
let's go. I don't even have one.
Everyone,
I'm the best.
Everyone's talking about it, so I'm like, man, I'm gonna be left out if I don't do it.
Yeah, not to mention they have their earnings next week, and it's gonna friggin'.
Oh yeah, we were checking out the charts today, huh?
Yeah.
And Tesla calls mid-August before that, or get like August 20th expiration.
Meeting.
$750 calls. That's what we're getting.
750 calls.
Yeah.
YOLO.
But this is an episode, guys. Every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Central Time is if this is your first time on the podcast. And then I'll be, like we said, every single day a new clip of a recent podcast will be uploaded. And then when we are on pace, when we're up to date or whatever, they'll just be from the previous episode. But see you guys. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
Bye guys.
Thank you.